125 years ago, on a rainy day in a little town called Farmville, just east of Richmond, Virginia, 4 young visionary women tucked themselves in a little cozy spot of their dormitory and talked for hours. This was the beginning of our beloved sisterhood, Kappa Delta. This summer, I had the opportunity to visit Longwood University, once known as the State Female Normal School and the home of our Alpha chapter, to see the places our early sisters held so dear. I had some excellent tour guides, Emma Kallstrom, Jordan Taylor, and Kirsten Clark, who are current collegians of our Alpha chapter, showed me around campus and pointed out significant KD landmarks. Ruffner Hall, or sometimes called the Rotunda, is where it all started for Kappa Delta. This beautiful historic building, which is in the heart of campus, is where Lenora, Julia, Sarah, and Mary sat on that Saturday, October 23rd, 1897, and dreamt up something higher and nobler. In 1912, only 15 years after its founding, Alpha chapter unselfishly relinquished its charter so Kappa Delta could become part of the National Panhellenic Conference, which would allow KD an opportunity to expand. You see, NPC requires its organizations to operate at schools that offer 4-year undergraduate degrees, and at the time, State Female Normal School only offered 2-year degrees. In 1949, when State Female Normal School became Longwood College, Kappa Delta reactivated the Alpha chapter. As we walked out of the Rotunda, I took a minute to pause, reflect, and soak in my surroundings. I was standing in the place where Kappa Delta was founded, the place where our early leaders once stood, and where other members since have come to memorialize, commemorate, and celebrate. At that moment, I felt inspired. Nearly 290,000 sisters have joined KD in our first 125 years, and there are so many more who will follow in their footsteps. The Founders Bench, installed in 1928, sits under the windows of the administrative offices, which used to be dorm rooms. The bench, which was originally made of limestone, had the names of our 4 founders and the date of founding inscribed on it. It was curved because we like to recall the memories of college girls sitting together in a friendly fashion under these trees, and 2, because we hope that future generations of college friends will sit together here. It was incredible to sit on that bench and to take our picture where so many other Kappa Deltas through the years have done the same. The one here today is a replica of the original bench. The creators of the original bench took a year and a half to craft an exact replica using white Vermont marble to ensure it lasted for years to come. Next to the bench used to sit a sundial, which was significant to Longwood because it marked the passing of the years. It originally faced the bench and was designed with Greek letters that spelled out the sorority's open motto, Ta Kala Deogamen. Placing the motto on the sundial was an attempt to help guide the years of the youthful members with a quote to remember, "Let us strive for that which is honorable, beautiful, and highest." Today, the ends of the original bench are located at our national headquarters in Memphis, Tennessee, and the sundial, which is currently being restored, will sit in our national headquarters museum. As we walked along High Street, Emma, Jordan, and Kirsten pointed out the front of the Episcopal Church and showed us how AOT appears in the front of the church, with the A-frame door being the A, the circle-shaped stained glass window being the O, and the cross on top of the roof being the T. They also pointed out that the street pattern in this area forms a K and a D that is visible from above. Now, I don't know if that was intended, but what a cool story for Kappa Delta. They took me to Stubbs Hall next, a residence hall for today's Panhellenic women, where each chapter has a room, and current collegians find their own cozy spot to talk for hours, just like our founders. Kappa Delta's chapter room is full of really interesting artifacts. As you enter, a framed charter that says Reactivated Alpha, dated April 9th, 1949, hangs on the wall. A portrait of Sarah Turner White, one of Kappa Delta's founders, is also featured in the room. The portrait was painted by Sarah's son, Arthur March White. Underneath the portrait is a collection of items that belong to Sarah, including her glasses, a handwritten miniature journal of quotes, and a class ring from State Female Normal School, and pins from other organizations. I take pride in the fact that the Panhellenic Residence Hall, known as Stubbs Hall, was named after one of our own, Florence Hamer Stubbs. Florence was a member and an advisor for 35 years to Gamma Theta, a local sorority that eventually transitioned to Katie's Alpha chapter when it was reactivated in 1949. Next, we visited Greenwood Library, where we had the opportunity to view archives from Longwood's collection, including handwritten chapter minutes from Alpha, old yearbooks, scrapbooks, constitution of bylaws, and a collection from Gamma Theta. As I mentioned, Katie's history at Longwood is uniquely tied to the former local sorority, Gamma Theta. Shortly after, Kappa Delta announced it was leaving the school so that Katie could join NPC, Gamma Theta was founded. The chapter members from both Gamma Theta and Kappa Delta were close friends, and it is said that many family members from Alpha chapter pledged Gamma Theta during Kappa Delta's absence on campus. When Longwood became a 4-year college and KD could once again return, National President Betty Lanier made a personal visit to Gamma Theta via train to meet the Sisters of Gamma Theta, including Florence Stubbs, as well as Dr. Lancaster, president of the college. But Kappa Delta wasn't the only sorority interested in Gamma Theta. Zeta Tau Alpha also wanted the ladies of Gamma Theta to reactivate their Alpha chapter, who left the school for the same reason. Ultimately, Gamma Theta chose Kappa Delta and reactivated Alpha chapter in 1949 with great success. Gamma Theta almost sounded like an extension in Kappa Delta in many reports, but it was indeed its own sorority. I was curious to see if Gamma Theta's ritual resembled Kappa Delta's, but I can report it does not. Just outside of Greenwood Library stands a 4-sided clock that was given as a gift to the university by the 4 sororities founded at Longwood in honor of our centennial celebrations. The clock features the Greek letters of each organization and the date of their founding. Now on to what might have been my favorite part of the visit, the Longwood Bed and Breakfast. Built in 1880, this house was home to the president of State Female Normal School and served as the residence for several presidents of the university. The most interesting fact is that the Alpha trunk, which held original minutes, chapter procedures, bylaws, and some ritualistic supplies, was stored in the attic of this home. The trunk was unknowingly left there in 1912 when Alpha relinquished its charter and stayed in the attic for 25 years. Elizabeth Jarman Hardy, a Kappa Delta of Alpha chapter and the daughter of one of the university presidents, lived in this house and was married there in 1917. She was one of the members who signed the letter resigning Alpha's charter, and later Elizabeth was integral in the reactivation of the chapter. In 1937, during a renovation of the bed and breakfast, Elizabeth's father discovered the trunk with its precious documents and returned it to the organization at the 23rd Biennial National Convention. Today it's said that the spirit of Elizabeth lives in the bed and breakfast. I hope you enjoyed this tour of Longwood University. As we celebrate the 125 years of Kappa Delta, I hope you too are inspired by the history of our sisterhood. The goal of our founders to create a sisterhood that was far-reaching has been achieved. Each of you play a part in making Kappa Delta who we are today. I am so proud of who we have become. But sisters, we are not yet finished. Let's continue to strive for an even greater and better Kappa Delta.